Taylor, and this is D'Angelo Williams, and today we're going to talk about Columbia State's men's basketball team. After finishing last season with a total record of 23-8 and a final ranking which was good for an impressive 6th in national JUCO rankings, the Columbia State's men's team is wrapping up a bit of a disappointing season. The Chargers are just 10-14, including going 7-9 in the conference with just one more game at Cleveland State on March 1st. Head coach Brian Collins will likely look to end the regular season on a sound note by beating a tough opponent on the road.
That's right. After wrapping up their regular season at Cleveland State Community College, Columbia State will have the TCCAA Region 7 tournament to look forward to. When sophomore Brian Akinbaye was asked how he felt about the upcoming conference tournament, he replied, quote, "The season hasn't been going very well. We had a lot of close games this year, but I can't wait until the tournament starts because we can make real noise in the tournament."
That's a pretty common sentiment with the majority of the team, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty much, he's pretty much the leading scorer, second leading scorer at that, and the second leading rebounder. So I'm looking forward to them to have a fresh start in the conference tournament.
If the Chargers are going to knock off regular season champs and top seed Motlow, the team will no doubt look to Arturas Breamers as well as others to get a spark headed into the tournament.
Good morning, my name is David Holbrook, and today I'm going to give you an update on our Charger baseball team. The 2012 baseball season was a memorable and record-breaking one for our Chargers. The team won 38 consecutive home games and achieved an NJCAA ranking of number 4 nationally. A big reason the Chargers had such a magical season was the leadership of Coach Mike Korn. Coach Korn was named the 2012 Coach of the Year by the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association. This marks the second consecutive year he has won this prestigious award. When asked about winning the award, Coach Korn was quick to praise his team. He was quoted as saying, "I'm honored to have been selected again by the TCBCA. In all reality, it's our young men who should be receiving this award. They are the team of the year in my eyes." With a successful 2012 campaign behind them, the Charger baseball team is looking forward to a new and exciting 2012-13 season. The bar has been set high, and Coach Korn knows it. With the level of parity seen in today's college athletics, every single game is a challenge. I'm anxious to see if our program is mature enough to defend the 2012 TCAA title. It will take a total buy-in from all of us to repeat last year's success, said Coach Korn about the 2013 season. Coach Korn has led the charge in turning around our Charger baseball team, and our players have put in tremendous work and effort. They deserve all the support we can give them. So everyone come out to the ballpark and cheer on our Chargers.
Hi, I'm John Thigpen. In entertainment news, Sony has officially announced its latest console, the PlayStation 4, after weeks of anticipation leading up to the conference on the 20th. The next-gen contender is expected to bring new technological advances in graphics and physics, as well as a greater social networking tools, like the new share button to keep gamers connected. As of yet, we do not know what the actual console itself will look like. However, Sony has unveiled its new DualShock 4 controller, with some new features like a touchpad and a light bar underneath for social interactions. Alongside the system, new graphic engines were hinted at, and even revealed through a demo of the new Unreal 4 engine. New games such as Knack will be able to display thousands, if not millions of particles at a single time thanks to these new upgrades, and games like Watch Dogs and Deep Down will look more realistic and play more fluently. Among these companies working on the titles for the PS4 are Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, Atlas, Capcom, and many more familiar companies which are sure to make the PS4's launch a cornucopia of gaming goodness. Financially, Sony has stated that the prices will be flexible, which sounds pretty good considering the console will be dropping this holiday season. Speculation suggests that we will see the new console itself at the Electronic Entertainment Expo this June. But only time will tell. I'm John Thigpen.
Season is finally over with the 85th Academy Awards showing this past Sunday. The show was hosted this year by Seth MacFarlane, who may or may not have been the worst host ever, depending on who you ask.
MacFarlane was highly criticized for many of his jokes, including the boob song, a joke about Chris Brown and Rihanna, and a joke involving Quvenzhané Wallis and George Clooney.
For those of you that didn't get to watch this year's show or didn't want to see the show yet again go over its time limit, we have a recap of this year's winners.
At least the categories people actually care about. Sorry, sound and makeup people.
Christoph Waltz won Best Supporting Actor for his role in Django Unchained, And Django Unchained also won Best Original Screenplay for Quentin Tarantino.
Anne Hathaway, as expected, won for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Les Miserables. And Best Actress went to Jennifer Lawrence for Silver Linings Playbook. The actress unfortunately tripped on her way up to receive the award, but gracefully recovered in her own down-to-earth way.
Best Actor went to Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln.
And Glee won for Best Director for his work on Life of Pi. And Pixar once again won for Brave for Best Animated Feature Film, proving that with Hawkeye from the Avengers and Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games, this is the year of the bow and arrow.
And finally, Best Picture went to Argo, which won George Clooney and Ben Affleck yet another Oscars. And we leave you on this note. We now have as many Oscars as Leonardo DiCaprio.
If anybody out there is considering a date night or maybe a night at home alone with some friends, you've got two guys here without a bucket of popcorn, and we're going to give you some suggestions about some movies that you should see and maybe a few that you need to just avoid.
Our job is to make sure you don't waste your hard-earned money with some of the garbage that's out nowadays and use your time seeing something worthwhile. We will run through 2 movies apiece, one we think you should definitely see and one that you think that it's probably better off being used as a coaster for your drink while you watch an actually good movie. For my recommendation, I would have to recommend a movie from 2004, the first Saw movie. While many people have seen it, some have yet to enjoy this film because of all the blood and gore reported in the sequels, giving the first one a bad name. Saw 1 actually has little to no gore in the film, with anything that would actually be labeled as gore taking place off screen. If this was for budgetary reasons or to leave it to your imagination is debatable. The bottom line is, however, that the first Saw film is actually a slow, creepy building movie and is completely story-driven and uses its characters to help provide a sense of tension, horror, and creepiness. If you want a horror film that slowly builds the tension in a good manner with a great story and twist, it isn't just CGI garbage that's, in your face, scary! No story crap. This movie is definitely an A+. As for my non-recommendation, I would have to say stay away from the most recent Paranormal Activity movie, Paranormal Activity 4. While I was a fan of the first 2, the third started to go downhill, and this most recent one is just a sign that they should definitely stop. With almost little to no scares, this movie does nothing new. A rehash of their old formula, but even less of it to play it safe for general audiences. Most of the supposed scares in this film are not even scary, they're just fake jump scares that actually have little to do with the ghost. Very little paranormal actually happens. This movie would have been better off being called People Talking and a Ghost is Kinda There, I guess. Stay away from this one, because unless you are the most avid, die-hard fan of the series, you'll have nothing from this movie and you'll leave the film leaving completely underwhelmed and ripped off. This movie's better off left in the trash or used as an ashtray or a frisbee for your dog or thrown at whoever greenlighted this thing.
While my suggestion for a movie may seem odd, it's a very well put together film that had critics and audience alike spellbound. Django Unchained was hands down one of the best movies in 2012, with masterful direction from Quentin Tarantino, home run performances from Christoph Waltz and Leonardo DiCaprio. This film was the conquering hero in Hollywood in 2012. The film was controversial for its depictions of slavery and some of the lesser-known aspects like Mandingo fighting. Even famed director Spike Lee voiced his approval. But in the end, Django Unchained and all the participants were laughing to the bank. With an estimated $400 million take at the box office, this film certainly found an audience. On Oscar night, the film was rewarded with an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in Christoph Waltz, and Quentin Tarantino also took home an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. So if you're looking for a love story, maybe a little bit of a Western, some action, drama, comedy, you found your movie. And this film encompasses everything that is right with movie making.
For this next segment, we will be talking about a classic movie and discussing if it still holds up and if you should see it or not, whether it be for the first time or for a rewatch. Today we are actually going to group 2 movies together as a whole series and analyze them both. They are classic movies, still often quoted and parodied to this day. The actors in this movie are very well known for their roles. I'm of course talking about the Ghostbusters series, Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Don't do it. This series is not where you should waste your time or your ocular strength. These 2 movies are older than most of us. The cinematography is horrible in both. The acting is juvenile, and the action sequences make cartoon characters look like Oscar contenders.
How could you even begin to say that? I mean, these movies were classics. Like I said, they're still parodied and quoted to this day because of how well they performed. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and all the other actors in those films did great jobs. They are known for those roles. Those movies were huge when they came out, and they did great in those films. The cinematography for its time was amazing. I mean, it held up perfectly well. It was better than anything out there at the time. And to this day, it actually still holds up. A lot of the special effects in some of the not quite high budgeted films are just about the same, which is, it might not be saying much because of the high grossing films, but the lower ones that still actually do good have about the same CGI effects, and they did it first.
If I can go in my backyard, take some Play-Doh, take a video camera, and make the same movie, it's not worth going to see.
Well, for one thing, I'd like to see you actually try that. For another thing, looking at those graphics, for one thing, it's not Play-Doh. That's actually the beginning of CGI in films for a lot of cases. The CGI that they did in those films, like the scene in the library with the ghost there, or some of the scenes down in the sewer, those were fantastic, and they actually still look pretty good.
We're just going to agree to disagree, and this has been two guys without a bucket of popcorn. These are the film suggestions.
Have a good night.
Have fun.